in here and snatch that headset right off of Denise's head. That's it, I got it. The popcorn is ready, and our sponsors at MJR Digital Cinemas want you to know about the movies that are out this weekend. Joining us with a look at everything is movie reviewer extraordinaire and man about town, Greg Russell. Thanks for being with us, Greg.
Always a pleasure, you know that.
We have streaming this weekend as well as in theaters. Let's start with Ben Affleck's new movie, The Way Back. Is this streaming or in theaters?
This one's in theaters.
Okay.
Good movie. He plays this guy who was a high school basketball star.
Okay.
And after that winds up, getting, I guess you could say, just
losing his way?
A lot, yeah. And losing his way. But then his old high school invites him back to be the new basketball coach. So he does that, and it helps him get his life, somewhat back together.
Let's take a look.
It just goes to show what can happen. I mean, it happens to a lot of us. Just time goes on, and the best part is we had to go through the movie to peel down the layers to find out what happened to him.
Yeah, it's an interesting way they reveal sort of the deepest source of his pain, which is really, I think there's two kinds of addiction. Some addiction that I've heard people talk about are like, oh, I was 12 years old, I had some wine at a party, and I was off, I'm gone, I knew I was in love. Mm-hmm. And that's a very strong genetic component. And then there's people that just like find themselves in a bad place for whatever reason, and start doing something to try to feel better, and then it becomes a habit, and then you're like, why can't I stop doing this?
Yeah.
That was more my case, and that was more a case of the character Jack, and but what I thought was really moving about the story wasn't that it just languished in the pain, but it took an honest look at the healing. And the healing process was largely driven by his relationship with these young men and him, earning their respect and them earning his, and not necessarily about winning every game, but about like using some of their like weaknesses to their advantage, so to speak. And that made the story feel both hopeful but not cheesy, realistic, but not depressing. So it's the kind of movie I'd like to make.
What I love in this piece is also that there's these other families that that they're supportive of, but she's tried her best, and Jack just won't take the help, and she has to choose herself.
Right.
And that, as heart-wrenching as that is, obviously she still is in love with him. She has to choose herself.
All right, so we've kind of been down this road before with Hoosiers. Remember Dennis Hopper is the drunken Hoosiers, a dad of one of the players. How do you think this one rates?
This one, it's good, because some people did bring up Hoosiers as well, but it's kind of like, okay, same in some parts, but different,
right,
overall.
apples and oranges.
Right. But this one, it's a good movie. Like we said, it goes to show a guy who's going for redemption. And also, as you heard even in the interview, Ben Affleck took this personally because he was comparing his own real life to the life of the character.
All right, and how many reels?
4 out of 5.
All right, another new Disney Pixar movie out this weekend, kind of arriving stealth, almost under the radar.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody just mentioned this to me yesterday, and I was like, there's a Pixar movie?
Right.
What is it?
It's called Onward, and actually it's written by a guy from Clawson, Michigan. Like I said, the voices are Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, all about these youngsters who just kind of like want to reunite with family members who have, gone on. So it's a tearjerker, and and like we said, it's from a guy who's here, or locally from here.
What are you hearing
check
about?
it out. Understand that it makes you cry.
But is it good?
Yeah.
You have heard
Yeah, people have said that it is a good movie.
Pixar, of course, there's a mark of quality that's
Right.
kind of built in, but I'm curious to see how much of a tearjerker it is, because if it's on the same level as Inside Out or Up, you're going to have to bring a box of Kleenex to get through it.
My understanding is also along the lines of Old Yeller, if you know what I mean. So when you talked about the tissue, there you go.
All right, some new movies out streaming today. Let's start with one on Netflix starring a friend of Detroit, Mark Wahlberg, and Winston Duke. This is called Spencer Confidential.
Yeah, this is a fun little popcorn movie. Watched it last night, and it just draws you in. It's all about he was a cop who gets sent to prison because he beats up a police official. And so when he gets out, he realizes that there's so much corruption going on within the Boston Police Department that he's got to help out, even though the police don't want him. But there are a lot of layers, and also, as you see in this scene, he's in a fight. He's in a fight pretty much every scene in the movie, and normally we always see Mark Wahlberg winning the fights. He winds up getting beat up a lot. To my understanding, the crew, when they were watching these scenes go on, were cheering because they were happy to see him get beat up.
That's funny.
But
How many reels?
a 3 out of 5.
All right.
Nice little middle of the road one.
And finally, a movie out on Apple TV Plus, The Banker with Sam Jackson and Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, now this was kind of like another Hidden Figures. It's the story of these two African-American gentlemen who back in the 1950s were geniuses when it came down to real estate. But they weren't allowed to buy in certain areas. So what they did was they found a young white guy to be the face of their company. And I got to talk face to face with the cast.
Yeah, me again.
After seeing something like Hidden Figures, I assumed this was kind of story. It's like some guys doing, something that's unthought of or unimaginable for people during that time, and for what they were able to accomplish and how they were able to do it. To present yourself in one way and really be about something else. To be smart, savvy, and courageous in another way. Good seeing you.
Good seeing you too, man.
Before you got involved with this, had you ever heard about this before? It's one of those stories that, just never really came up to the top.
I had never heard of it. It wasn't something I knew about. It was actually brought to me. We were on the top of 30 Rock 11 years ago shooting Adjustment Bureau, and No Fee's editing partner, Joel, came up and told me the story. And ever since then, I would literally call him every 2 months and ask him when we were going to start shooting.
I think, look at these films are far and few between, and they are hidden gems, like you said. And I'm just so happy that there was a woman in the story, because although she wasn't necessarily a part of every single thing the men did, she was definitely the voice in the background and the cheerleaders saying, no, do it this way, we can do this, because in her mind she was able to visualize that they were actually on the precipice of huge change within the community, and that we were entering a movement where Black people were free and boisterous and fearless.
How many reels for The Banker?
Definitely 4 out of 5.
Oh, yeah.
It's bankable. Yes.
As always, you brought some giveaways, swag. What do you have today?
Well, we have got from the movie Onward some really nice stuff. We've got a very nice bag down there. Also 2 action figures. Nice T-shirt here for you to wear and enjoy and look very purpley with. Also a couple of passes to see the movie, some small action figures, also a keychain, and some nice socks, to which I've got the adult pair. So you got all that. Plus, we've got 2 passes to see the new Ben Affleck movie as well.
Cool. To enter to win Greg's giveaways, just go to our Live in the D Facebook page or the contest page. Click on Detroit.com. Contest rules are posted there as well. And don't forget, MJR offers $5 Ticket Tuesdays. To see a list of showtimes at MJR Digital Cinemas near you, go to their website, mjrtheaters.com.